The rain came down in sheets, pounding the rusted roof of the small one-room building like angry fists from the sky. Inside, Emeka Okoro sat motionless on the edge of a thin mattress, soaked in a silence louder than the thunder. His hands trembled slightly as he stared at the eviction notice in his lap. His name was scrawled in red ink at the top. A deadline circled in bold. You have 3 days. 3 days to leave the only place he'd called home in the last 2 years. 3 days to figure out how to survive when he had nothing left. Not his job, not his reputation, not even the respect of the people who once called him a friend. Emeka hadn't always lived like this. Just 5 years ago, he had been the pride of his village in Nsukka, the first to get a university scholarship, a first-class graduate in mechanical engineering from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. He had dreams like skyscrapers, confidence that could move mountains, and a job offer from one of the leading oil servicing firms in Port Harcourt even before he graduated. People called him the future. Mothers pointed him out to their sons. Look at Emeka, see what hard work can do. But it all changed the year his younger sister fell sick. Chinelo had always been delicate, born prematurely. She'd spent her early years in and out of hospitals. When her kidneys failed, the doctor told Emeka the treatment would cost more than 2 million naira. Emeka didn't hesitate. He cashed out his savings, took loans, and eventually resigned from his job when he couldn't keep up with the pressure of caring for her and maintaining his position. She died 4 months later. He returned to Nsukka broken and in debt. And that was just the beginning. Friends stopped picking his calls. Family members avoided him. You used to shine, someone once whispered as he passed by. Now look at you, carrying sorrow like it's luggage. And now, he was being evicted from the tiny shack he could barely afford. On the second night after receiving the notice, Emeka wandered the quiet streets of the town, the weight of everything he'd lost threatening to crush him. He found himself near his old secondary school. The faded sign still bore the motto, "Knowledge is light." He smiled bitterly. Light? His life felt like darkness. But as he turned to leave, he heard a voice behind him. "Excuse me, sir, are you Emeka Okoro?" He turned to see a teenage boy in a worn-out school uniform, carrying a stack of books. "I saw your picture once," the boy said quickly, "in the school's Hall of Fame. They said you were brilliant. I've been trying to pass my WAEC, but math is killing me. I don't have anyone to help." Emeka blinked. No one had spoken to him with respect in years. "What's your name?" he asked. "Tolu," the boy replied. "Please, sir, even once a week. I want to study engineering too." Something stirred in Emeka's chest. He looked down at Tolu's eager face and saw what he once was, hungry for knowledge, desperate for a chance. "I'll help," Emeka said quietly. "Come back tomorrow. Same time." That was the beginning. Over the next few weeks, more students started showing up. Word spread that Emeka Okoro was giving free lessons in mathematics, physics, and technical drawing. They met outside, under a mango tree near the school compound. Sometimes the rain chased them away. Sometimes they brought candles to see their notes after sunset. But they kept coming. A local teacher, impressed by what he saw, donated a whiteboard and a few chairs. Another man, a food vendor, started bringing snacks for the children. Emeka's landlord, who had once threatened to throw him out, tore up the eviction notice and told him, "Help them well. Your rent can wait." People who had once turned away were now returning, not because Emeka begged, but because they saw something they hadn't seen in a long time: purpose. One day, a woman in a blue wrapper approached him after class. "My son said you changed his life," she said. "I don't have much, but I run a printing business. If you ever need flyers or anything, come to me." Emeka nodded, touched beyond words. With her help and others in the community, Emeka formalized the initiative. He called it Lighthouse Academy, a free evening school for students who couldn't afford extra lessons. They used old desks, chalk, and donated textbooks. What they lacked in resources, they made up for in passion. The real miracle came the following year. 6 of Emeka's students wrote their WEC, and all 6 passed with distinctions. One even got a scholarship to study engineering. The story was picked up by a local journalist. A week later, Emeka received a call from a Lagos-based NGO focused on grassroots education. They offered to sponsor the school and build a proper learning center in Nsukka, with Emeka as the director. He wept when he got off the call. 2 years later, Lighthouse Academy had over 1,500 students. Volunteer teachers came from different parts of the state. Scholarships were being awarded. Emeka had found a purpose bigger than the title he once held in an oil firm. He no longer wore suits, but he wore smiles. No fancy apartment, but he had a home in the hearts of many. And every time someone asked him how he bounced back after losing everything, he would point to the wooden benches under the mango tree. That's where I found what I was really meant to do.